everyone, it's Debbie from the Inspiration Station. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing my February layout using the Creating with Sketches bundle from Allison Davis. This is a YouTube hop that was organized by Coley Bing, and we have a number of YouTube creators that will be joining us. So I hope that you'll visit all of them. I have linked them below in the comment section. I can't share the sketch that we'll be using today because it is paid content, but it is sketch number 2 of the 2-page sketches. And for this month, I will be sticking pretty close to the original sketch. I made a couple of changes, which I'll point out, but for the most part, I stuck pretty close to it. Now, these are the photos that I'll be using. My husband and I just recently came back from a cruise to the Eastern Caribbean, and the photos I'll be using today are from our visit to the Dominican Republic. We went to a place called Amber Cove, and the excursion that we took from the cruise ship was to a place called Monkeyland, and it was so much fun. Now, it may freak a couple of people out because I know I have some friends who were just totally what would you say, crazy when I told them that we'd be going here, and they were like, no, we can't have those monkeys crawling all over us. But it really was not an issue. We had so much fun. You can see they were climbing all over us, and I thought maybe they would scratch us or something, but really there was no scratching involved, and their feet were really super soft. So they were a lot of fun. And if you ever get a chance to go to Monkeyland, I suggest that you do that because it is a lot of fun. I went through some of my papers trying to decide what I would be using, and I ended up pulling just a bunch from my stash. So these first few papers, this is actually the one that I really liked, that I wanted to work with, and I found several others from the same paper pad. These are from a Recollections paper pad. This one here, it is Tropical Life. It does have a lot of gold foil in the pad. I'm not using any papers that have gold foil. It's just not my thing, and I don't think I really need gold foil for the monkeys. Although they would have liked it. We were warned that we had to remove jewelry and anything shiny because they do like to play with them and run off with them. So yeah, nothing shiny. So I'll be using those papers, and then I had some other papers from my stash. I have some scraps here. These papers are from Vicki Boutin's Where to Next, and so I will be using those as well. Some of the other products that I've pulled to work with, I'm not sure which will end up on the page right now, but I do have some Pink Fresh Studio Tourist Mode. I really like these frames, and I'm thinking I want to use those somehow in the embellishment cluster around the title. And then there's also some stickers from that line. I think the colors, the oranges and greens and yellows, will work with the papers that I've chosen, but I'm not really sure how they're going to go together. There's also some puffy stickers, and there's a couple on here that I might want to use, the Fun or the Into the Wild. So I have those pulled. I also had, there's also one of their, I forgot what they call these. They're ephemera, but they're like pockets, and little cards that go with them. So I think I may use this for my journaling. I liked this Adventure Time. I'm not really sure how it's going to work into the sketch, but I'll see what I can do with it. The other thing that I want to use are these 49 and Market Everywhere chipboard geoframes. I pulled out 2 because I don't know the size, but I'm thinking I want to use either the orange or the smaller white. I wish the orange had a small one, but they don't. So I'm not sure which one I'll end up with. And then there's a bunch of ephemera from Vicki Boutin that I pulled. Some of these pieces, there's also, this is from the Papery pack. They're super thin, but I like them. So I've got a bunch of that. These are from the 6x8 pad, a couple of journaling cards. Who knows what I'll end up using. We'll just see where it goes. And then, of course, these stickers. These are travel notes. I think they came from the Where to Next collection. I have 2 sets of them. But I'm thinking I may use This Was Fun for the title. I'm not really sure yet. We'll see how that goes. So those are the things that I've pulled. And let's get started. So I just wanted to take a moment and show you how ridiculous some things are. This is my IKEA unit of cardstock and pattern paper. Okay, there's probably thousands of sheets of paper here. But you know what's not here? The one color that I actually wanted. It never fails. One of my favorite colors is a light aqua teal type color. And this is how small my collection is of that particular color. There's nothing here. There's like, what's here is really dark. Yeah, I have this whole rainbow of cardstock. The top is all 8.5 by 11. I no longer make cards, but I have a lot of 8.5 by 11, so I try to use that for mats and things. This is my 12 by 12, all in nice rainbow order, and no, there is no aqua. I know it looks like that in the camera is, but it's not. It's actually a light green. So, yeah, that's the problem. So getting started on the layout, I ended up choosing a light blue cardstock from American Crafts as my background. You can see here I'm using the palm tree paper that's been cut down to 10 by 11. That'll be the left side of the layout. On the right side of the layout, Allison had a number of 1-inch strips going across. They are vertical strips going across horizontally. So I'm not going to make you watch me glue every one down, but you can see I laid the right side background paper over the left so that I could line the first strip up with the background on the left. Then I decided to kind of bounce the strips up and down. I think the original sketch called for everything to be lined up nice and straight, but I figured with the playfulness of the monkeys that it would probably look a little bit better with some uneven stripes going up and down. So I did plan out the colors ahead of time and try to mix them up so that they weren't, all the same right next to each other. Now I gotta say that using all these strips, although they're very pretty and I like how it turned out, it is a lot busier than my normal style. So it's a little bit out of my comfort zone. Now you'll see I did use the very last strip on the right hand side is the piece I cut off from the palm tree paper, just to try and tie those 2 pages together. I thought it helped make them look a little bit more cohesive. I matted my photos onto white cardstock to help them stand out from that busy background. And I don't normally measure a lot. I kind of eyeball everything, but I did want to try to follow where Allison had put the blocks, just so that I had something to go by. So I'm going to glue those photo blocks down, and then I will get started on some of the embellishing. You can see that I did pull a lot of embellishments, and I didn't glue them down right away. I'm kind of dry fitting everything, playing with what I had. There were a few pieces that I knew I wanted to use right off, and those are the ones that I'm playing with now on the left-hand side. And as I said before, I wasn't sure which of the geotags I was going to end up using. I did go with the larger orange one because I thought the orange really needed to come down to that corner. There was so much of the yellow and orange on the right-hand side of the page. So I did pull out these frames. Those were a little tricky for me because they are kind of bulky when you start layering them, and In the end, I ended up having to put some foam tape under the photos on the right side just to lift it up off over those frames. Here I took one of the sayings from the Vicki Boutin ephemera and put that in the middle. And I printed out a map of the Dominican Republic from Google, and I put that in the geotag, and I really liked the way that came out. It kind of gave me the location journaling type piece because I didn't do any journaling on this. Really, I just put the title, and up there I'm putting down a piece that I stamped. It was a Studio Calico stamp set that was all about cruising, so the port adventure. I did put the Vicki Boutin ephemera piece that says "Let's Play," and this is where I played around with the title. Now, I really like the Vicki Boutin titles, however, they don't stick, and I started to put them down. The first piece stuck pretty well because it was on the glossy photo, but as soon as I started putting the letters down, they were just all over the place, and that's just annoying. So I had to get out some liquid glue and glue that down. Then there were some dots on that puffy sheet that I added in just to put some color in. The dot to the eye on this did not show up, so I ended up taking the brown piece off and replacing it with a pink dot. I put a few of those dots up in the upper right hand corner, to bring that color up. And I thought this arrow would be really cute, just where it says "Let's Play," and kind of have it point to the monkey that's looking at us as if she wants to play. And yes, all of the monkeys except one were female, and you can see on my shoulder in the lower right that mom with the baby on her back. They can only allow one male in the cage with the females because they are very territorial. And so the alpha male, his name was Pablo, and he was the father of all of the babies that were in there. So after I got everything done, I thought that the page was just a little too straight, too boxy, I don't know, linear. So I decided to rough up the edges of the background paper, and because it was already glued down, I couldn't use my distressing tool. So I just used my fingernail and went through and kind of lifted the edge up. It took a little bit. I had to go back a couple of times before I got the look that I wanted, but I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing. You'll see I did basically on the left, and then I went over to the right-hand page, and I did rough up all those little strips across the top and the bottom. It took me quite a while, so I do cut that out of here. So this is my final layout, and you can see I went back and added the date on. I used my L Studio monthly number stamps. I use this stamp set so much. I use it on almost all of my layouts when I need to put a date on. I think that was all I changed afterwards, but yeah, so I hope you really enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it, and be sure to check out the others that are listed below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I really appreciate that. If you liked this, if you got something out of it, if you enjoyed it, please leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. It always helps my channel, and it helps to tell YouTube what type of things you like to see. So thanks again, and I will see you next month with the next sketch.